Imagine every object on Earth suddenly hurtling sideways at over 1,000 miles per hour. Are you ready to see what happens to us if the world stops spinning for just 1 second? Let's dive into the absolute global chaos. Right now, you're moving at about 1,000 miles per hour. You don't feel it because everything around you, the air, the trees, the ground, is moving at the exact same speed. But if the planet suddenly hit the brakes for just 1 single second, that silent motion would turn into the most violent physical event in history. The reason everything goes wrong is inertia. Think about being in a car when the driver slams on the brakes and your body jerks forward. Now imagine that on a global scale. While the earth beneath your feet stops, you, the buildings, and even the literal soil wouldn't. At the equator, everything not bolted to bedrock would be launched sideways at supersonic speeds. Supersonic speeds turn our civilizations into debris in a heartbeat, but this lethal momentum isn't limited to solid objects. The momentum carries over to the very air we breathe. Our atmosphere usually rotates right along with the planet, but if the world stops, the wind keeps going. We're talking about 1,000-mile-per-hour gusts that would instantly flatten cities. It's not just a storm, it's the entire sky turning into a blunt force weapon that scours the surface of the earth. Once the air and land collide, the oceans begin their own terrifying surge. Water is heavy and holds onto its movement with incredible persistence. As the crust halts, the massive volume of the Atlantic and Pacific would slosh forward in a wall of water miles high. These wouldn't be waves so much as the entire ocean migrating inland to swallow whole continents. But there's a deeper, invisible change happening inside the planet too. Earth isn't a solid cue ball, it's a living machine with a spinning liquid iron core. That rotation creates our magnetic field, which shields us from solar radiation. A sudden jolt to that spin could disrupt the dynamo, potentially stripping away our protection against the sun's harshest rays in an instant. This spinning liquid iron core maintains more than just our invisible defenses. While the magnetic field falters, we would see the very ground beneath us begin to warp. The physical shape of the world would start to shift under your feet. Because the Earth spins, it bulges at the equator, like a ball of dough flattening out. If that spin stops even briefly, the gravity holding that bulge in place changes. The oceans would immediately rush away from the equator toward the poles, permanently redrawing every map we have. When the second is over and the Earth starts spinning again, the whiplash would be just as brutal. Picking up that 1,000-mile-per-hour speed from a standstill creates its own set of lethal forces. It's a reminder that our entire existence relies on a very specific, constant momentum. We are quite literally hitching a ride on a giant flywheel that can never afford to stop. This giant flywheel provides a stability we rarely question until it disappears. We need to examine what happens to life and gravity when that rhythm breaks. Inertia would suddenly launch everything sideways at supersonic speeds. Atmospheric momentum would create winds that flatten entire cities. Massive oceanic surges would drown continents in seconds. Internal disruptions might break the planet's protective magnetic field. The equatorial bulge would collapse, sending oceans toward the poles. Finally, the restart would cause a second round of global whiplash. Our world is defined by the very motion we usually forget to notice.